Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 2 versus 2. Yes, indeed, a 2 versus 2 on Lorraine. Yes, indeed, the Alsace-Lorraine region calls for us once more. We shall be watching the 3rd Panzer Grenadiers under How 123, and you are offbeat, dude, fighting both for the Wehrmacht. 3rd Panzer Grenadiers. Opposing them shall be the Rover and LegioxRoma, fighting for the Americans, fighting for Patton, fighting for the, let's just say 7th Armoured. We are seeing a barracks up for both, probably going to be seeing some riflemen. Wehrmacht quarters up for both in that sense, not so many sort of changes there. Both will probably be seeing some infantry, though question is of course how much infantry will the Wehrmacht be throwing into the fight initially. Both are going for the standard start, that is 2 pioneers or engineers. Some pioneers are heading more centerwards, others more toward the edges of the map. Resources, territories being secured. Pretty aggressive push towards the fuel right here, ignoring all the resources initially there, so he's probably also expecting some fighting right around there. First squad of riflemen out there, squad of riflemen out there, and an MG for you are offbeat, dude. And a full kind of squad for How 123. And a hiccup. Also nice approach up towards here. Not too aggressive already there. I mean, the Wehrmacht of course knows they will be moving into hostile territory. In that sense, starting out with an MG first is considerably more tricky. He could have risked getting ambushed and pushed off the map immediately. But in this case, no such luck. The MG-42 spots the rifleman with the aid of the pioneers and quickly sets about suppressing the rifleman, quickly dropping one. Poor bastard, the pioneers moving in for the kill with their MP-40s. Riflemen are pinned. Engineers could try and move in and push off the MG-42. And looks like the engineers, the rifleman in fact, pinned as the pioneers moving in there. Rifleman trying to move about, but getting caught out in the open and getting suppressed. At the same time, initial firefight going up here between LegioxRoma and the Volksgrenadiers, caught by some small fountain, not fontaine, that's something else entirely. And riflemen fighting here from the other side of this nice wall, getting the drop on the Volksgrenadiers. The Volksgrenadiers are definitely not fighting in a good position, already taking heavy losses. The riflemen are definitely winning this with ease. MG-42 moving up forwards, but we're seeing engineers moving into flank, but we're also seeing a Schwimmwagen moving, and there we go, firing across the wall, quickly suppressing both engineer squads, causing losses, and sending them scurrying back home to Uncle Sam. And some pioneers up here quickly dispatched by the riflemen, although the pioneers did not suffer overly much. Another Volksgrenadier squad moving in here, the riflemen quickly putting up here, although they are slightly less healthy now, beaten down to 4-man and less health than they would normally prefer to have. The Volksgrenadiers, they'll quickly ignore them, moving up to the church and opening up on some engineers trying to secure the fuel point right there. A bit of a unfortunate start for the Wehrmacht, suffering losses on several points and having a bit of trouble advancing, but we are seeing them continuing. You are offbeat, dude, going pretty on aggressively. Center being secured by the Yanks. And the Volksgrenadiers holding up here, another rifleman squad moving up. Taking some losses though, pioneers moving in to add to the close fire support. That is good to sort of try and give the Wehrmacht a bit of an advantage up close. Will the riflemen try and focus down the pioneers? No, and there we go, they actually lost to the Volksgrenadier pioneer combo. A little small trick you can do, of course, to sort of give yourself a small advantage up close against the rifleman who would always have it, is add in some pioneers. And you can actually win against the riflemen if they actually move up close. Although, of course, if they add engineers, you're in trouble. Volksgrenadiers actually rushing up close to the rifleman. I'm not entirely sure that's a good idea, but we do see the Schwimmwagen adding some MG5. We're seeing riflemen moving in there, the MG-42 covering the front. And there we go, the riflemen were pushed off due to the Volksgrenadier Schwimmwagen combo. The rifleman right here getting shot at, and we are seeing engineers with a flamethrower moving up the Schwimmwagen. The Volksgrenadiers hold them. This small little, I'm not entirely sure what to call it, building block or whatever, garden, is certainly becoming a small Wehrmacht fortress. More forces moving in from your offbeat dude and the 3rd Panzer Grenadiers. Riflemen here coming under heavy German fire. But the Volksgrenadiers take up position in their house there to fire down on the poor saps. And there we go. In fact, pretty aggressive play by the Wehrmacht. And there we go, riflemen are forced away. More on the way, though, I imagine, for the Rover, who is slowly getting pushed back, and we're seeing the Wehrmacht secure there. He should consider, or could consider, getting a medic bunker up to sort of provide some help with losses and allow him to sort of keep up the pressure right there. In the meanwhile, How is advancing steadily. Pioneers laying down mines. 3 squads of Fultz grenadiers. He could also consider a medic bunker. An MG42 there. MG taking up position in the house right here. Although considering looking a bit less structurally safe. And there we go, the engineers run away, or well, the last remaining engineer runs away. Good mining up here by Howe, although he might want to spread it out a bit more. Mining going on here. MG covering the flank. Volkswagen's holding up here. Would have thought that might have been an MG, but never mind. Going for the munitions right there and securing it in the name of the fatherland. Volkswagen might want to pull back up behind heavy cover mines going down there. Going for the flanks, ignoring the center so far. MG going for the point right there, although we are now seeing Volkswagen moving into support, and we are seeing Blitzkrieg up. We're seeing assault being leveled against the rifleman. Oh dear, all climbed up, and there we go, stun and grenade against the MG, though. MG gets cleared out, the crew is gone, the MG's right for the picking. Oh dear, LegioxRoma. Oh, squad went down for LegioxRoma. Let's go look at the Rover. But right there, nasty loss for LegioxRoma, losing a rifleman squad that early on. And a forward barracks this close to the opponent's base. You are off beat, dude. Is definitely playing a high stakes game. MD turns about as the rifleman engineers moving in to hit the flank. Mine goes off though, killing 4 men instantly, leaving the rifleman and the engineers brutalized. Heavy fighting everywhere, and looks like the Volkswagen's assault into the center was stopped. Rifleman, oh, we could see a squad loss for the Rover. No, he pulls a Forrest Gump and gets home successfully. Rifleman getting into the house, and Browning automatics pop up for the Rover, increasing his firepower considerably. But again, this is a German strong point. Volkswagen's pulling up behind whatever cover they can, and towards less windowed sides. Schwimmwagen providing support. Rifleman getting cut up in the house. MG moving in. Rifleman trying to hit the flank, but there we go. Taking up position in the forward barracks. Medic station up. That's a good move for the Rover. He knows this is going to be a bit of a fight of attrition, and getting a medic station is definitely going to push things into his advantage. Schwimmwagen could go down, heavily damaged. Oh no, Schwimmwagen 9. Rifleman, they are taking losses, and there we go, down to few men. MG42 now hold up against Rifleman inside the house as well. Medics moving in to pick up the wounded. Howe making some progress, but again, he could also do with a medic bunker. In fact, both Axis players should desperately, or well, seriously consider getting a medic bunker up. In particular with a forward barracks army, and this means he's rather going to be digging in again. He's going to need a medic bunker, otherwise this sort of fight of attrition will drain him out.
Observation posts report we are losing a sector.
A full squad of riflemen, all heavily equipped with BRs. MG pulling back. Medics pulling on the wounded. Pioneers laying down mines. Could salvage the Schwimmwagen. Nice holding up there. Oh, LegioxRoma stole an MG from Howe. How are you, klutz? How could you hand over something? How could you? Oh, terrible joke, I know. But had to be made. Had to be made, I think. Sturm arming up for Howe, so he's clearly heading into some sort of armored car rush. Mines going down there for LegioxRoma, right next to the enemy's mines. Nice assault going in there for the Rover, although 2 MGs now up, strong point up. And we are seeing packs out, actually, although again, he's seen BARs, so he should at least from the Rover worry about it, and he's also got the forward barracks. So why not build a pack out of that? Because you can. And I also think he needs some grenadiers now. He needs some heavy infantry. Another rifleman squad on the run. And also gets away successfully. Rifleman though taking up position there. And the squad actually went down. Oh, the rifleman actually... Oh, he was just so close. And he died within the range of the medics. Oh, the tragedy. Rifleman inside though taking losses. MG though close to getting decrewed. Barely making it out of their life. There's one more rifle squad inside there providing cover, allowing the riflemen to quickly sneak back and get reinforced. Well, get back to a slightly more safe retreat path. Howe going for the north. Armored car out. Schwere Punches B-Wagen. Volksgrenadiers on the run. There were Volksgrenadiers divisions by this time of the fighting. So of course, I mean in that sense in the Alsace-Lorraine region they would have made sense, not so much the Normandy region fighting. Night artillery right here on the building, it's close to collapsing, the forward barracks is almost gone. Get the MG out of there! Oh, never mind. And the forward barracks went down. A terrible loss right there in MG and the forward barracks. That's about 500 manpower for the Wehrmacht. Let's go look at how though, with the Splitzkrieg right here getting suppressed by the MG. He needs to get some grenadiers out. He's actually getting a mortar. But armoured car out. Hound still not getting a medic bunker. Not providing a lot of protection. Not providing a solid front line. Oh dear, oh dear. We are seeing the armoured cars pulling in now. He's got the Kampfkraft center up, but he's not using it. Ravnier coming under fire. Not entirely sure why he's running up. His Volksgun is close to the rifleman. That's a bit silly. You should generally not run up to riflemen with BARs using Volksgrenadiers. MG inside there getting blasted out by the armoured car. Losses for the Wehrmacht overall not looking too good for the men of the Reich at the moment. A mine going down there. Territory being reconnected. Let's see if the armoured cars can't give the Wehrmacht some sort of initial advantage. And we're seeing an officer out for Howe. Not entirely sure. I think he needs that now. I think he needs some more troops. And some medic bunkers. MG hold up there, keeping some squads pinned down. The officer angrily demanding he will be saluted when he arrives. Pack sneaking up. Another, no, that's a half track, that's good. A Schützenpanzerwagen should help. And there we go, the Waffen there pushed away. Waffen heading in towards the centre. Minesweepers should join in. And there we go, the half track charging in. Sticky bomb on it though. Clearly the rover was prepared. But again, might also due to the armoured cars. And there we go, Wehrmacht forces following up. Rather than here getting stopped, getting suppressed. Quickly using the buildings there to gain some sort of close superiority advantage. Nicely done right there by You Are Offbeat Dude. I mean, he's rather handling the urban fighting largely well, but again, I do think this aggressive posture without a medic bunker was a bad move. Mortar right here getting overwhelmed by the Americans and cleared out. Oh dear. Clearly someone should recruit that mortar and turn it and get it back into the fight. Bit of wire up here. And some heavy losses for the Volksgrenadiers being a bit spread out. That's not good. Armoured cars need to be rerouted up here to provide protection while the infantry's away. Still no veterans for the infantry. We're seeing more armoured cars. You could also consider getting veterans who want to make them considerably tougher. Just a suggestion. There we go. Armoured car. MG still hold up there, but only one man left. Not encouraging. The Wehrmacht once more pushes towards the medium munitions point. Volksgrenadiers and Pioneers with Flammenwerfen. And artillery going in once more. Oh dear, direct hit on the half track. It is still there though. Building takes a few hits. And Pioneers hiding in a nearby house trying to dodge the barrages. And the MG makes it out of there alive as well. Impressive. But certainly the rover is getting hammered a bit, but I mean, the problem for your offbeat dude is taking considerably larger losses in the process. And Howe needs to be a bit better at holding territory. He's not really good at it. And he needs more infantry. I mean, this is more urban warfare. I mean, all these armoured cars will just sort of get bottlenecked and hit some mines, I fear. And there we go, we actually see LegioxRoma stealing the mortar from out the Germans' noses. Minesweepers moving in though, that's good. Spotting one. Wehrmacht advancing right here, MG following up. Mine done. Still no medic bunker up for your offbeat dude. Still no veterancy for Howe, despite all the units he had that could benefit from it. No medic bunker for him. And now getting a Sturmgeschütz. Raven pushing in from the north, hit one mine. Oh, half-track's not in a fighting condition, and most of the Wehrmacht troops are not in a position to actually sort of direct themselves towards it. I mean, Here, your offbeat dude's actually stringing out himself a bit too far. Americans have taken some damage. We're seeing an anti-tanking up. That's good. LegioxRoma pushing up. I mean, he's getting himself more and more heavily equipped with German weapons. I mean, he's got an MG42 now, and he's got a mortar. And there we go. Armor cars climb up, hitting a mine. Assault against the MG, hoping to sort it out. It might succeed, though. Rifleman getting blasted by auto cannon fire. Americans going for the cut-off point. They're cutting off all the resources there. MG, though, turns up on the rifleman, quickly suppressing them and killing whoever's still standing out in the open. And I also think it's a shame that Howe is not making any sort of greater progress towards harassing towards him in particular, since if he were to do, he'd figure out that, oh my goodness, there's a lot of observation posts, there's a lot of resources by LegioxRoma which could be destroyed and denied. In that sense, I do fear that Howe seems to bear the hallmarks of a not very imaginative player. I mean, this game is not just about getting the right units, it's also about using them right, and that tends to mean aggressively. And also sometimes, you know, in particular in 2 versus 2 matches, the trick is to sort of try and find out where the enemy is and to sort of really find a weak spot and then just charge through it. Volkskrieger here, they're taking a beating, need to pull back. Never mind that this window is not really suited for infantry. And a Volkskrieger squad went down for Howe. Let's go have a look at your offbeat dude who's gone terror himself. And complaining about luck, which rather indicates again that he's sadly not the most imaginative man when he's complaining about luck like that, for example, when he's just getting hit by mortars, which again he should have been protecting. And again, there's no veterancy for him at all. Nebelwerfer's out. You could even use the officer to do a bit of harassment. Artillery going down here, and we are seeing a howitzer up for the rover. MG needs to move, I think. Very close. And we are seeing some Volkskrieger here. The riflemen caught out in the open, they're in the middle of the road, are getting gunned down by the Wehrmacht. Half-track pushing up here against the riflemen, and someone died. Looks like a pioneer squad, tragically. How though holding the center, but he needs to keep pushing and perhaps find another angle to push at, like say the right-hand side. He needs to find the path of least resistance and just hit it with the most power. And that's the essence of Blitzkrieg, the doctrine he's chosen. But sadly that does not seem to be filtering in. Pioneers getting gunned down, they just need to retreat. Veteran T2 rifleman, Veteran T2 on the way for the Wehrmacht, but your offbeat dude does not have any grenadiers who could benefit from that. Instead, he's got 3 packs sort of spread out all across the map. Can't really use them either. Never mind, it's a bit weird when he does it, when again his opponent just already has, or his teammate has Stooks. So that's a bit of a curiosity, to be honest. And tank destroyers out for LegioxRoma. That's definitely going to cause a problem for Howe. Armor cars not repaired. Stooks are not within range. Pack's not really close to support either. And there we go. Tank destroyer gets 1 armored car. Good night. And artillery fire being directed against this house, I think. Wehrmacht is now again holding most of the map. The question is for how long that lasts. Nebelwerfer's pulling up to support. Looks like this building needs to be abandoned. Another forward barracks up for you offbeat dude. That's 500 and so manpower expended into the forward barracks scheme. And still not a single grenadier. Come on, you offbeat dude. Get some bloody grenadiers. Get some tier 3 up and get them some MGs. Right here, they're on the retreat. Going in there and propaganda war. I'm not entirely sure on what. Apparently a large rifle enforcement again for LegioxRoma. Stu against the tank destroyer. And there's only 1 assault gun, in fact. And it looks like he's getting more there. Lovely. And here's the weird thing for your offbeat dude. I mean, let's even pause about it. He's got the forward barracks up. He's got the Krieg barracks up. But he's not using the forward barracks to train grenadiers in. I mean, it can do that. It can train all infantry as long as you have the buildings for it, the prerequisite buildings. So why not train the grenadiers then have them much quicker out in the fighting? It seems weird, to be honest. But let's get back to the fight. I really wanted to point that out. That really seems weird that he's largely not using his forward barracks to actually train things in. He's not using it as a barracks. MG, though, setting up. Troops getting suppressed. Pulling back to the forward barracks, probably to reinforce there. And there we go, artillery being directed against the forward barracks. The Grenadiers actually arrive on the battlefield, but they seem to be heading in the opposite direction of where they should be going. Squawk went down for your offbeat dude, and let's return to LegioxRoma, who's not chosen a doctrine as of yet. Your offbeat dude is having trouble fighting on. Again, his force is lacking in fighting the primary foe. Infantry, he spent too much resources on packs, I think, initially. And forward barracks, no medic bunkers, and not getting enough grenadiers early on. Definitely not helping him. Veterancy for the Stooks, so that's a nice move by Howe. And destroyed engine on the armoured car. Still no veterancy on them, though. Fulton is probably trying to rush into the house to sort of ensure the Americans can't decap it. Grenadiers are finally arriving with another Grenadier squad, one of them equipped with a Panzerschreck. Again, I do get the impression that your offbeat dude might be expecting something else rather than what's happening. Well, of course, we are seeing a lot of tank destroyers, but they're operating in the north half of the map. So again, I rather think that your offbeat dude ought to be focusing on the infantry and killing it. Well, we might be seeing something moving down there, an anti-tank gun. MG stolen from your offbeat dude. The Germans are really having trouble keeping their MGs in their own hands. And another forward barracks destroyed. Which again, considering he's barely using them, why does he keep insisting on using them? I mean, he's definitely not getting the most out of his forward barracks at all. I mean, he's trained 2 Grenadier squads as Krieg barracks, again, not using them. I mean, that's a really bizarre decision by your offbeat dude, and not cost efficient at all. Or even strategically or tactically sensible. Right from here, they're getting pushed off. Rather than going for the fuel there, the Americans, I mean, are turning things around more solidly now. A bit of propaganda war there again. Grenadiers pushing up. Still no MG. But I'd love to see that. And again, spending too much resources on propaganda wars for, I think, too little effect.
Losing ground out there.
And Howe being too passive. And again, there's a lot of things here which could be dealt with. And there's more medic stations up for both players of the Americans. That's good. That's great, in fact. Although I think they could be sharing a tree ascent. I mean, they could perhaps have placed it around here, then both players could have used it. Just a suggestion anyways. Another observation post. I mean, LegioxRoma is building quite a few of them. And obviously benefiting both players, so that's certainly a nice bit of work there. Whereas your offbeat dude is building it on buildings that get knocked out quickly. Now he's getting veterancy free, but again, overall he does not have enough infantry on the field. He needs more troops before he gets all that veterancy, I think. Tank destroyers moving up against the Sturmgeschütz. And of course going to flank. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Careful. 4/6 Männer. 3rd Panzer Grenadiers fighting on. But the Alsace Lorraine fighting is not the one you sort of hear much about. Rather it's all the Ardennes and Market Garden. But at the same time as Market Garden, Patton did lead an assault up there. Though perhaps not so many heroic stories. And certainly the German fighting there was considerably less well, since it was largely more inexperienced divisions fighting there.
Enemy unit down.
Things like the Panzer Brigades and such. Artillery going in there against the Stooks. Looks like they might get out there. Out of control tank destroyer. 1 hit on the Stook. Oh dear, and the sides exposed to another tank destroyer on Overwatch. There we go. 1 assault gun down. And there's nothing here to provide cover. And where is Howe's infantry support? Mortar round though, hitting their own troops. Destroyed engine. How? Where are everything you might have? Where is it? And why no stormtroopers either? I mean, Howe is having a terrible unit composition, and he's not really getting the most out of his doctrine. And he's definitely not supporting his assault guns with infantry like he ought to. More artillery being directed against the Germans. Some grenadiers sneak in, though they might quickly find themselves overwhelmed. Another tank destroyer rolls out. Grenadiers pushed away. And a Nebelwerfer waiting. But again, Howe needs to support his assault guns with infantry. He could, for example, again, he's got Blitzkrieg. He could consider getting some stormtroopers out, equip some with assault rifles to deal with infantry, equip some with Panzerjets to help deal with the armor. That, I think, would benefit him considerably more than his current approach.
Ready for battle.
And your offbeat dude switching the approach from the south to the center, at least realizing fighting might not be working out there for him. In fact, now, as the rover is fortified heavily with anti-tank guns, machine gun emplacements, shifting the focus away from there, then of course it's going to benefit him. So nicely done there by your offbeat dude. North, though, not doing too well. Rifle engineers with minesweepers moving in. And again, no infantry, because again, Howe isn't bothering.
Enemy unit down.
Lots of Nebelwerfers, though, and more grenadiers out for your offbeat dude. And ooh, nasty losses there for the riflemen. 3rd Panzer Grenadiers again, though, struggling heavily. Their assault guns, the only real armor they could get. Oh, mine goes off there, killing a rifleman squad almost down to the man. Anti-tank gun recruited by a few heroic riflemen. Or possibly just drawing the shortest of straws. Left to form a rear guard. Anti-tank gun that's moving in, really letting it loose on the Stooks.
Enemy unit.
And again, no infantry from Howe to support. Had he merely had some stormtroopers or footguns or even anything, he could perhaps have sorted it out. But there we go. Instead, your offbeat dude is forced to spread out his attention to sort of divert some infantry out to support your offbeat dude, because I mean support Howe, because Howe apparently can't be asked to get his own infantry and get himself a decent unit composition. Which of course means that currently your offbeat dude is spreading out his infantry too far. Whereas of course the Allies are much better able to sort of, create their own forces that can work sort of in different ways, but still, have the core elements of anti-tank and anti-infantry, Both have infantry. One might be more sort of foot slogging with the machine guns and the anti-tank guns, where the other one is a bit more mechanized with tank destroyers, but overall they can handle the same things overall. And that's the thing. The Axis forces are considerably more poorly composed, and thus they really depend on help from each other, which again you really shouldn't be doing, because again there's not a chance always you might get that. Right, from there pushing forwards, Grenadiers taking heavy losses. Bit of Nebelwerfer, and looks like we are having, yes, counter-artillery against the Nebelwerfers. Houses collapse. The Grenadiers continue to fight here, but they are quite simply overwhelmed. 5 squads of riflemen out for the Rover. And the assault guns move out, forming the Panzerabteilung of the Panzer Grenadier divisions. Usually the Panzer Grenadier divisions, while supposed to have actual tanks, never really got those, except in some very rare cases. Usually instead they had assault guns with a few command tanks. Not even really the SS divisions could avoid this. And there we go, tank destroyers versus the assault guns. Could consider getting Veteran C2 up for them. That would definitely benefit the German assault guns. Besides just giving MG Stooks actually gain a health bonus. And there we go, Veteran C2 is up. Unleashing death upon the Allies. Riflemen there on the run. They could actually consider themselves getting slaughtered. No, it looks like they pull out of there safely.
The Germans are after one of our munitions points.
But the Germans definitely having a problem, and I do think I hear artillery, and Allied War Machine quickly replaces some of the tank destroyers. It is chaos, it is carnage, and oh my goodness, 4 Grenadiers go down, almost wiping out a squad. And again, I mean, all of these observation posts are really paying off for the Allies, really giving them much more munition and fuel than they otherwise would have had. And there you go, Grenadiers clamped up. Should be careful, we could see a grenade go off. Also some pressure fire. Oh, Nebelwerfers hit themselves! Oh, looks like the Grenadier squad went down to their own Nebelwerfers. Oh, never mind. And looks like how could be getting a Tiger tank now. In fact, he's got the 5 command points, so basically all he needs to go click it and save up the manpower, and he might be able to turn the tide. In fact, since we're already seeing a King Tiger from You're Off Beat Dude, I mean, it really would be an excellent time for Howe to get a Tiger, but no, what are you doing? He's getting an armored car. Get the Tiger, Dummkopf. Get the Tiger. Add some heavy armor in, throw back the Yankee gangsters in an Armistice Vaterlanders. Don't fumble around with an armored car. Oh dear. Some years one here. Bit of mining, good. The south now, of course, is again quite open, undefended, although looking considerably ruined. So does the center. North, less so. But just get the Tiger, how? Grenadiers fighting alongside the King Tiger. Unleashing high velocity 88mm fire. No, don't think actually they had a heavy armor up unit in the Alsace-Lorraine region though. Pretty sure none of the schwere Panzerabteilungs fought there. Though I might be wrong, And an armored car went down, so I mean, he went for it and he lost it immediately. Which again pretty much means again he wasted resources instead of getting what he needed, which was again a Tiger tank. King Tiger with the damaged engines, 242s blasting away. Grenadiers heavily bled out. Germans are definitely not doing too well. MG in trouble. Quick rushing into a nearby building though. Grenadiers getting grenaded. 3rd Panzer Grenadiers forcibly pushed back. The post office right there is definitely not in a good condition. The medic stations though are still standing, impressively enough. And more tank destroyers are being prepared. And we're seeing another armored car. How? Just get a Tiger tank. It's not rocket science. Just common sense. Get something that makes an actually survive all of this nonsense out on the battlefield. In particular when you already have veterans for that instead of the armored cars, you klutz. Raven here getting blasted. And another building collapses, losing You're Off Beat Dude, another MG team. And again, no, there's a lot of assault guns, that's nice, but there's not enough infantry to actually support. There's 1 squad of Fultz Grenadiers, there's nothing really else. He can't support his own assault guns. And again, assault guns need bloody well support. In fact, he's going for veterancy 3 now, which is nice, but again, get the Tiger first. And again, it also means he has to play his force considerably more conservatively. You're Off Beat Dude continuing though to fight in the center. Calliope rockets. Veterancy 2 howitzer. The Rover having a large force. And there we go, tank destroyers versus assault guns. Stuke 4 likely going to go down quickly as, well, field repairs are on. Not entirely sure why I decided to send in the Stu 42 to this. And again, a Tiger would have helped immensely. Tank destroyer down. Another one out of commission due to a main gun destroyed. And the Stooks are once more getting pushed back. Only having really knocked out one assault gun for losing one of their own. And the armored car, again, already almost down. King Tiger on Overwatch in the center, 14 kills. Assault guns getting repaired desperately. Artillery flying all over the place. Veterans 3 infantry squads for the Rover. Another assault gun, again, completely neglecting the Tiger tank. King Tiger, on the other hand, getting pushed away as well. And rockets being leveled against the assault guns, holding up here in the small park. A square, whatever. Let's go have a look at your offbeat dude. Who's got a considerably smaller force again, no medic bunkers, and again some overall poor fights despite otherwise nice aggression and good tactics. Has rather lost him a lot. He's barely got anything left, and now he's going for a Panzer Command. Trying to get that King Tiger off the field. And looks like another armoured car gone. Having achieved very little. And finally we do see the German infantry of House moving up. But again, too little, too late. Panzer Command up. Will we be seeing any Panzers? No, we will be seeing Knight's Cross. So much artillery, so much death. This town will be a ruin after this. Well, more ruined anyways. The Grenadiers fighting desperately in the centre with the Panzer section without their MGs. In fact, Panzer Grenadiers were heavily equipped with machine guns. In fact, the Panzer Grenadier squad had 2 MGs in it, in fact, which is twice as many as the Grenadier squad would have had. So, of course, that's something you usually don't see mentioned or even acknowledged. And that's usually where Panzer Grenadiers really had an advantage over regular Grenadiers, besides being usually better troops. Or, well, higher quality and, of course, better trained. Of course, they were also more heavily equipped with machine guns. Which, again, basically gave them a lot more firepower on the offense and the defense. Assault gun out of control, more rockets, more houses collapsing, more calliope fire. 2 assault guns, in fact, out of control. Still not a single bloody Tiger for him. And more armoured cars. That man ought to be court-martialed and placed in some wet trench outside of Leningrad. And now we see the Knight's Cross leading the charge for your offbeat dude. Rifleman getting torn apart. And there we go, squad finally goes down for the Rover. A small victory for your offbeat dude and the 3rd Panzer Gunners. Tank destroyers though charging in. Not a lot to stop them. Again, not really a lot of anti-tank defense, not a lot of infantry. Again, poor handling by Howe. And again, the officers also just largely standing about doing nothing. I mean, he could have been out harassing points, supporting the main effort. In particular, considering all the munitions he has. I mean, he could have been trying to drop in some artillery somewhere, I suppose, even. Calliope's moving up. So much death. Rifleman here getting burned, cooked alive in what looks to be a small barbecue pit. Well, a considerably large one, actually, considering the scale of things. Assault gun barely survives this, and that's pretty much the only survivor of the armoured unit. We do see a nice flank going on here. Artillery missing all of it, of course, as the infantry force keeps on moving. Machine gun plate going to sort out. Anti-tank gun sorted out. The Knight's Cross doing nicely. The Grenadiers with the BAR also doing nicely. And the King Tiger moves in, although desperately needs repairs. More Knight's Cross on the way for your offbeat dude. Not a single Panzer IV or an Ostwind or a Panther or anything. Right here, though, getting blasted as the Knight's Cross bear into them. The Sturmgewehrs making short work of them. And are run off. And a Rifleman squad getting considerably torn off. As for the fighting around Leningrad, it was definitely not pretty, and basically for the Germans meant a lot of sitting around in considerably wet trenches. Largely since, of course, it was a siege and not a very exciting one. Men is still continuing to pull in the wounded. Knight's Cross Squad very close to going down. Particularly since Veterans of the Rifleman Squad firing at it, but they make it out of there. King Tiger could pull off a bit further. Rifleman charging in there. Still not a single damn Tiger for Howe. He really ought to be ashamed of himself. More firepower being directed against the Germans in the south. Your offbeat dude finally having recaptured it. Grenade mine goes off there. Some Volksguys moving in with 19 kills. He could perhaps consider giving them some MP40s actually. And more Knights Cross for your offbeat dude as well. In the meanwhile, LegioxRoma is doing quite nicely. 5 squads of riflemen. The mortar firing again. Lacking in tank destroyers though, and looks like another assault gun charge by Howe. But again, he'll probably just sort of lose all nerve and just stand about here. You know, hang about there instead of attacking. I mean, there were several times when the Germans could have been attacking when they didn't. And again, they were too passive in some ways. And again, which is really bad for someone who's going blitzkrieg. King Tiger close to getting knocked out. Volksguys leading the charge. Not a lot of infantry really supportive though, and they might get cut down by the riflemen. There we go. Grenades getting lobbed into their path. Somehow they survive, but probably due to veterancy free, making them harder to kill with grenades due to the health bonus. And here's a fun fact about the grenade in Company of Heroes. It does as much damage as a Volksgrenadier unveteran has health. And it is fighting though with the old BAR, the Browning automatic rifle, a World War I weapon, and the Volksgrenadier squad went down. Another loss for the Volksgrenadiers, and they tended to get chewed up, although not as bad as the Luftwaffe divisions actually in World War II. Some of them actually fought pretty well against the Americans, causing considerable damage, or for that matter against the Soviets. I mean, the Volksguys did fight on both fronts. I think even they fought in Italy in the late stages, of course. A BAR drop, right from here, just getting, oh my goodness, just torn through by the Knight's Cross. Just getting murdered. And there we go, the Americans are on the run. A tide of bullets pushing them away. Though of course he should be careful about running out in the open like that. He could actually lose a lot more instead if he was to use cover a bit more intelligently. And of course also climbing up would make them also a nice target for artillery. But there we go, looks like the Rover could lose another rifleman squad. Oh my goodness, he's just lost 3 of them. And we are seeing both Calipes moving in, not really worried about the Panzerfaust, and trying to knock out the King Tiger with a sound barrage of rockets. And there we go, 1 Knights Cross squad on the run. Of course, there were no real Knights Cross soldier squads in the real war. The closest you would have found were basically units formed from non-commissioned officers, basically corporal, sergeant, and all that from combat schools, basically being trained up, who would sometimes, as things progressed, be formed into special platoons and companies to basically fight. They usually did it quite well as well, but again, might also have been a waste since they otherwise could have been helping more inexperienced squads. But looks like LegioxRoma is holding the north decently again. How lacks the infantry? I mean, if he had infantry, he could sort this out, but he doesn't. He's not even bothering with stormtroopers and veterancy. And still lacking a Tiger. I mean, really, Howe is just not good. I mean, again, he had a nice idea with 3 Volksguy squads and you're getting some armored cars, but as things progressed, he just ebbed out. He bled out, and he just keeps getting stuck in the same repetitive fashion. And now he's going for blitzkrieg, but he's not even achieving much with that. I mean, really, he ought to be ashamed of himself, I think. Assault guns there charging in, that's nice. Of course, blitzkrieg increases the rate of fire besides moving faster, that's nice. But again, where's the infantry? Because again, infantry also moves faster. They also shoot a bit faster, but most importantly, they actually sprint under the effect of blitzkrieg. But again, we're not seeing that. He wants to get those Calibers, but again, there's Allied War Machine up, and of course, he's maneuvering in his assault guns in a way so they can easily be knocked out. Because again, he didn't provide them with support. I mean, again, you should support your assault guns, and he's not doing that. And right here, things are going very terribly for your offbeat dude. The King Tiger is on its own. And now he's actually sending his infantry elsewhere. 4 Knights Cross. Oh, goodness gracious. Your offbeat dude needs to work on his unit composition. Sticky bombs, assault guns, armored cars, gone. More assault guns. How far? Heaven's sake, and there you go. Now the Knights Cross moving in. The Grenadiers with the Panzerschreck moving in. And now the assault gun bites the dust. Tank destroyers rolling about. Mortar rounds going in from someone, but I'm not entirely sure who. Ah, his mortar squad hidden all the way up there. But absolute carnage. The 3rd Panzer look like they will be thrown out of town. More assault guns being thrown in. Not much else though. Now the tank destroyers are rolling in. The assault guns getting overwhelmed by the tank destroyers. The M10s, the Wolverines. And there's not much left for your offbeat dude either. And your offbeat saying replay going on game replays. Why? We're streaming, dude. How could you? We're streaming. That's you. And that's cool. So apparently, I mean, just good noob. Yeah. How I think you're the last one that ought to talk about it. And of course, your offbeat saying it's just a good game thing. It should be shown. That's, well, good sportsmanship. Certainly, if he's offering since he was late. And yeah. And there we go. Nice sportsmanship, except from How. But again, I think also How, to a larger extent, was the worst player. I mean, really, his unit composition really suffered. Again, lack of medic bunkers, otherwise despite good. And again, overall lack of infantry as things progressed. A lack of aggression. He went blitzkrieg and he did not show aggression. I mean, really. But also, you know, no stormtroopers used that could have helped him. And again, just so much really wasted resources and talent. And finally, he gets a Tiger. Dummkopf. Your offbeat dude much better, but at the same time there were some problems. He was nice aggressive here, but he didn't quite follow it through with the right things. He should have had a medic bunker, and he should have used the forward back to get some infantry and some packs out quickly. Though again, he should also, you know, noted, my opponent has BARs. I probably should first focus on getting a lot of infantry out, perhaps a pack, but really that first infantry. And the Grenadiers came much later until he first had 3 packs to cover every part of the map, which was pointless. And again, your teammate should always provide his own anti-tank assets. Always. Because again, it also means you're going to have to provide attention for it. And that's another resource that you should not be handing out. So in that sense, again, he should have had more Grenadiers out first. He should have had perhaps some Panzers, but also some MGs. And he should have been using this building to get them out. Again, overall, there was so much resource wastage going on there by your offbeat dude. And his unit composition sort of hurt from it. Because again, not enough Grenadiers late initially on. Then later on, they came and were considerably less use, and the Panzer Command, he perhaps should have gotten some Panzers as a crazy suggestion. But there you go. I mean, great play on by the Americans. On the other hand, good, you know, aggressive unit composition, lots of infantry supporting up with anti-tank guns or tank destroyers. Good use of the enemy's MGs and mortars. Good use of medic stations. That's great. Good use of artillery, supply yards. I would have liked to see you in perhaps only one Trier center, sort of, you know, both can heal there. That would have been really great teamwork, but overall, that's it. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own or provide some feedback in the comments? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.